What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely Saturday. And with that being said, let's get into the weekly update. All right, so I'm going to start off with briefing you guys on what took place this week. What did we have, guys? We had PCE come out. All right, the Fed's favorite inflation measure. And guess what, guys? It was hot. All right, so now we had a hot CPI, we had a hot PPI, we had a hot jobs report. I think we had a hot PMI, but I'm not sure about that one. We're going to disclude that. All right, but that would be the fifth, and I think that's the last inflation measure. And then guess what, guys? All right, you just had a hot PC report. All right, so the prints are hot. They're bad. All right, I believe the month over month was like 0.6 versus the 0.4 expected. That is terrible. All right, that is why you got the selling that you did. But with the data that we just got, it doesn't make sense that you're not getting like a lot of selling. All right, and I'm going to explain why I think that is the case in this video. And guess what, guys? It's technicals. All right, it's TA. All right, that's really all that is mattering. Okay. And yeah, that's why I give weight to the charts instead of the fundamentals. All right, I much rather rely on TA than yeah, fundamental analysis, because fundamental analysis will always leave you scratching your head. Sometimes you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But the vast majority of the time, you're going to get data drops like this. And somehow the stock market is going to go up. And that's what I'm saying. You're going to be sitting there just scratching your head. And I don't want to sit there scratching my head. So I'm not going to do so. All right. But yeah, let's go into the charts, because it's really all that matters here. Even though we did just get the fundamental news that like, hey, we got confirmation pretty much that we now have the fundamental fuel of this that brings this. All right, so because of that, that is what I'm looking for. But I think we are probably going to see a bounce here, because we are hitting some important levels here, and I would just assume buyers are going to be stepping in here. It would kind of be scary if you didn't have buyers step in here. And then I would say, like, hey, all right, you might have a bit of a free fall. You're going to get a bounce. But if you lose this, like I'm going to say, like it could be $10 or $20 lower on SPY and QQ, that we are bouncing. All right. All right. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with the weekly time frame, just so everyone knows where we are at. Okay. What are we looking at? All right. The last weekly report, I told you guys that if you get the cross under the 100 line, which is right here, this is your sell momentum line on SPY and QQQ on the weekly CCI, that you got weeks of selling ahead. All right. Guess what, guys? You have that. As of this week, you were at 75.90 right here. You have your close underneath that. You now have weeks of selling. So now we now have confirmation that this is on the horizon. All right. And if you just want something to reference, like these signal lines, okay, this happens with the buy signal line as well. All right. Did you tick under there? Yeah, you did. All right. And then you came out. Well, guess what? So here you had a buy signal. All right. Right there. You coming over here. And what do we also have? Right here was your buy signal. Now I do understand you went flat after that. I do see. This is also on QQ, so SPY does look a bit different. All right, QQ did not do much over here, whereas SPY did. All right, but you come over here, and where was your next one? It was right here. Right, so this big green candlestick right here that you're seeing. Well, guess what, guys? You had a big old move after that. All right. You had the same thing over here. It was this big fat green candlestick right there. And then guess what? You had 2 more weeks of continuation there. And then we got one that's just like what we got going on right now, which was you were coming under your sell momentum line. And guess what? You had weeks and weeks and weeks of selling after that. All right. And if you really want to look at it, guys, you had a whole ass year of selling. All right. I don't think we have, though. I mean, I'm not going to say we don't have a whole year of selling. All right. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not going to make that projection, because, yeah, I don't want to have to eat my words, all right? I'm going to talk about what I really think is going to be happening in the, we'll call it the long term, I guess. We'll talk about the short term, the midterm, and the long term in this video, all right? We'll save the long term for after, all right, for the end of the video. We're also going to be going over why, guys, just know, like, there will always be opportunities like the ones that I'm going to bring up that should just light your world up, okay? Like, they really should. Like, if you're ever feeling down, just realize, like, these are always going to be there, so you might as well just start preparing for them. Or not even just prepare for them. Just, guys, just be happy. Just literally have a big fat smile on your face, because they're always going to be there. But yeah, that will be in the end of the video as well. I'm gonna be going over guys. We're gonna call this one the 100xer. All right, we're calling this one the 100xer, and this is one that I am going to be preparing for. I'm already ready for it to happen, but like obviously this is going to take months for that opportunity to come into my hands. So I'm gonna be just sitting on my hands until then. Obviously, I'm gonna be doing the stuff. Guys, everything we discuss here on the channel, this is what I use to make my own trades. I'm here to make money. All right. Over time, you're gonna see the content here on this channel just get better and better. And guess what? That's because your boy is becoming a better trader, a better chartist, and honestly, the skill set as a whole, it's just growing. That's what you're seeing here on this channel. I'm not gonna claim to be this professional. I'm not gonna claim to be a like I guess I have had times like actually like a very good amount of times where my account has sat over 25K over the, I guess we could call it the past 2 years. So I guess that would. I'm pretty sure that makes you a professional trader. Like the definition of professional trader is you're just trading with over 25K or whatever. All right. But I'm not going to say I have years and years of experience or anything like that. No. But at the end of the day, this is my passion. And I hope you guys enjoy me talk and act on my passion, I guess we could say. So yeah, that is what this channel is. But also I do provide market updates each and every day. And then we also do have the weekly update. Now I wasn't here this week. I think I had 2 videos go out this week. I'm sorry, guys. I just did not have enough time. Your boy does work 2 jobs, and he also does have dogs, and he does his own thing as well, all right? So if your boy doesn't get a video out, just realize that is why, all right? I can't just, you know, sometimes it can't happen, all right? But I will do everything I can to make sure it does happen because, honestly, guys, I enjoy making these. So let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna start off with a weekly time frame. I know I already showed you guys that, but we can look at the other things. All right, you have your stochastic continuing to go down over here on SPY and QQQ. All right, and keep in mind it is from the overbought territory up here. And last time you had that happen, all right, you again you had weeks and weeks of selling. So not only the CCI is suggesting that, you have your stochastics suggesting that as well. And notice, guys, where we stalled out here on your RSI. Right around this 50 mark, all right? Right around that 50 mark, all right? Which is where we stalled the last 3 times on these bear market rallies. You had that one stall there. You had that one stall there. Look at that, all right? You're now having another one stall there, all right? Eventually, you're going to see this thing cycle all the way back up, and then we're going to be looking for a really big sell. But by the time that happens, guys, you're probably going to have QE turn back on. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. It is only a matter of time until something does break. I don't think we're in that restrictive territory yet where, like, hey, you hold this thing, you hold the terminal right here for a few months, and like by default things will break. All right, people, they're like big guys, okay, big guys, the people who run the financial system, they will have a problem with it. All right, and when they have the problem with it, they're going to tell Mr. Jerome, like, hey, okay, gotta stop doing that. Now the Fed also does chase the 2-year, all right, and the US 2-year actually is wait, am I doing this? What is it? 2? What am I doing? What is it? Oh, I guess it's actually down here. Look at that, because your boy already was looking at it. Guys, the US 2-year is exploding, and the Fed literally just chases this with the terminal rate. So if this thing is exploding higher, that means that, you know, that's gonna explode higher. All right, so if this thing starts coming down, just know that, hey, that's when you're gonna literally see Jerome up there. He's gonna start with the dove talk. Okay, and guess what, guys, it wasn't doing this over here on Feb 1st. This is where it was. All right, it has almost went 20% up just after Jerome opened his mouth and decided to start taking a victory lap. All right, I told you guys that hey, if Jerome doesn't, you know, put his foot down, exactly what we've seen happen, this was what was going to happen. Inflation was going to tick back up. That means inflation expectations are going to start ticking back up. The market's going to freak out. I was pretty much telling you guys, okay, like this ends with us going down. Like that's why I've been like, I don't want to just call myself a bear, because I don't want to be a bear. I just want to be a I actually heard someone say it the other day. They said I was watching a Meet Kevin what's it called? It was a Meet Kevin, like it was him. What would I call this? It was him watching an interview and commentating. All right, I guess it was his commentary. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, she said, I'm not a bear or hawk, I'm an owl. And I guess owls are just known for being intelligent or whatever. Guys, I want to be an owl. All right. I want to be an owl. I want to be a panther. Right? I don't want to be a bear or a bull. I don't want to lose. Okay. But I guess I definitely have been on the bear side of things, like 100%. Definitely have been this whole time. Just because, like, hey guys, things don't make sense. Okay, you could keep rallying. I was telling you guys back then with Jerome. All right, Jerome either puts the hammer down or he fuels the beast even harder, and then you get an even bigger crash. Okay, and I don't want to say crash is in like an '08 crash. I want to say crash is in like this thing or this thing or this thing. Okay, and that's all that was happening. You had the start to one over here, but guess what? They started doing the dove talk. And that is what happened over here. You had the market rallying off of the narrative that, okay, inflation is coming down. Because inflation is ticking back down, the Fed can be less hawkish because they're tightening less. Guys, now soft landing is on the table. Guess what, guys? I was trying to tell everyone, soft landing is guaranteed not on the table because the further you went down that path, all right, the path of like ignoring what I've been bringing up, the more it fuels like that the Fed is going to have to step in and do something, and then it's going to freak out the market all at once, and you're going to have a bigger sell-off, right? So like the end game really was sell-off. I was trying to say, all right, I understand like a lot of the times, like if things don't happen immediately, I'm going to look like a fool, guys. And please, guys, if you do appreciate me coming on here, now I wasn't here much this week, but I think that was the first week I've really missed anything. If you guys do appreciate me coming on here and taking the risk of looking like an absolute idiot pretty much every day, please guys, support the channel. Okay, you guys can do that by liking, you can do that by becoming a YouTube member, you can do that by going and subscribing to the Substack. Okay, you can do the paid version of that. All right, or you could do the free one. Guys, please, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like. All right, that really is the biggest, like, that's the biggest way you can support me. Is just, hey, just leave a like. Let the YouTube algo know that, like, hey, this guy has valuable information. So then we can push this valuable information out to other people. And there you go. You guys have supported me. All right. So if you guys do enjoy this, please do leave a like. I appreciate it so much. And I know more people are getting value out of these than the people who are just leaving a like. So please do. All right. Because I do know for a fact that over like literally each and every video, over 50% of my viewers are returning viewers. So like guaranteed you guys are coming back. So please, you're finding value. Please show me that you're finding the value. I appreciate it so much, guys. If we ever see that 100 likes on a video, guys, I'm going to shit my pants. All right. It would be so amazing. I won't actually shit my pants. I'll mentally shit my pants for you guys. All right. I'll mentally go like this. Except like out the other end. I'm kidding. All right, guys. So let's get into the charts. All right. Because we did a lot of babble there. All right. But let's get into it. All right. Now that you guys know, like, hey guys, it's finally all happening. Fundamentally speaking, we're finally going to have the fundamental case here match the technical case. All right. Which is like, hey, you have weeks of selling on the horizon. That's the technical case. Okay. I guess that would be the midterm. Okay, we're going to talk about what I think is going to happen in the long term. All right, because that's something I started thinking about yesterday, and it kind of just put an absolute massive smile on my face. And guys, I'm going to be getting ready for it. Okay, and I'm going to be saving, like, I already have like I have like 10 or so K already for it. Well, it's 11K, but I'm going to be saving specifically for this. And then I'm also like, hopefully my trading account is like at a substantial amount. So then I also can use this. We're going to talk about that in the end of the video. I'm very excited about it. I am very excited. All right. Because guys, it's another opportunity where I just get to sit on my hands and just prepare for it. All right. All right. So which does align with the market going down. The market has to go down for me to get this opportunity. So, all right. So let's get into it. I know I've said it a few times now, all right? So SPX, we're actually going to disclude SPX today. Like, we'll talk about it, but not too much. We're going to be talking about SPY and QQ because these are our babies, all right? The VIX is also part of the baby squad, all right? But SPY and QQQ, guys, they're both right on the 200 in May. I know SPY and SPX slightly missed it. The buying pressure stepped in before, but guess where it did step in? It stepped in on QQs, all right? This is 100% what caused our buying pressure, okay? That is what's being respected. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. I think I was saying at the beginning of the video, if you lose these, all right, you're going to get a bounce. It's just probably going to be like $10 to $20 down from where you are right now. All right, and which is why I think it's definitely going to be here. Well, I can't say definite, I guess, because I don't know. All right, but I think it's likely going to be here with what we're going to discuss here in this video. Like, yeah, it makes sense that it would be here is where you're going to start getting your buying pressure for a counter trend rally. But then again, we're gonna have to see. Do you come up and break this high and like completely nullify the counter trend rally again? All right, because that is exactly what you did over here. Nobody could call this 20% move here a counter trend rally. It wasn't. All right, it was the move. It was a move, not part of a move. It was the move. All right, it was crazy. All right, it was crazy. All right, but yeah, over here on QQ and SPY, you do have increasing buy volume, guys. When they're green candles, buy volume. When they're red, sell volume. Well, guess what, guys? We are now seeing, even though it was a red day, we're seeing buyers step in and at a crazy height here. Okay, guys, like at a crazy amount of buying pressure, I guess we could say. That was a crazy, yeah, crazy words. That's what I'd be giving to you guys. Crazy language. All right, but yeah, it's the same over here on QQ, just like it is on SPY. All right, and it is happening right on that 200 MA. At the same time, you do have your oscillators over here in extremely oversold territory. All right, now I'm going to show you guys something that's kind of gonna show you guys that we kind of need a bounce here. All right, and I guess I'll just show you that right now. Guys, look at DIA's CCI here. Also, you do have the bullish divergence on DIA's CCI. That is something that is also pretty cool. All right, and if you do just want me to do a little drawing for you, right, it's from this candlestick to that candlestick. All right, you're clearly making a lower low there, and look at that, you are making a higher high on your CCI. All right, and so yeah, guys, I'm just saying, because of what we're seeing here on DIA, I'm gonna say it's extremely probable that you do end up seeing a bounce. I don't know if it's going to be a decent size bounce. We're gonna be going over that here in this video, but I think we're definitely going to see the bounce start. Okay, we're at the 200 MA on QQ and SPY and SPX. All right, DIA has the bullish divergence going on here on the CCI, as it is extremely oversold here. Like, what the heck is this thing? This is lower than you got over here. All right, probably the lowest. Yeah, it's the lowest you got the whole bear market, guys. So that is something to know, except for over here, which was, oh, look at that, before the bear market started. That was literally this first dip right there. But yeah, guys, because of this, like, I'm just saying the bounce is very likely going to it's going to be starting on Monday. All right, but yeah, you also have your oscillators over in oversold territory. So again, I mean, I'm just saying, guys, it's the perfect spot to start getting that bounce, which is that 200 MA, and you got several factors agreeing here with you. Now let's take a let's take a look over at Mr. VIX, right? So at the same time that is happening, VIX, all right, gets this topping tail. Okay, VIX gets a topping tail. All right, we have an inverted hammer candlestick right here. All right, I don't know the tested performance of that. I actually think the tested performance is bullish continuation. All right, but we're gonna just not care about that. All right, because of the indices going down, obviously VIX is going to end up cooling off as well. All right, so something I want to point out here is over here, you can just put that's right there. All right, look at that, guys. We are over the 50 MA here on Mr. VIX, right? You had one rejection, you had two rejection, you had like 3 or 4 rejections in there. You had, I don't know if we want to call that one, but you had 3 candlestick rejections over here. All right, and then guess what? We finally made it over there. So what I'm going to be watching here is VIX's 50 MA here. I don't want to say this makes sense to me, because it doesn't make sense that VIX isn't going to end up having a close underneath here. But like, why the heck did it reject so many times just to now get another close underneath it? I don't know. So that's why I say I don't know if that close underneath is going to happen. So are we just going to have a feeble rebound here? We're going to be talking about that in a sec. But are we just going to have a feeble rebound here on SPX? Which would allow VIX to pretty much stay up here? Or are we going to have a decent size move here, right? The first day, maybe it brings VIX over here, right? It brings you right over here to this 50 MA. And then maybe the second day, all right, so Tuesday, maybe we have another super green day on SPX, all right? But maybe VIX is also green, and that gives you a sell signal on the S&P 500 over the next 2 trading sessions. So that would really be the only case here with Mr. VIX that would make sense for me for the beginning of the week. But obviously, we're going to have to see what happens. But I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense that it got rejected so many times at this 50 MA, and now it's finally over it. That's all she wrote? I don't think so. All right, I don't think so. We're going to have to see. All right, you come over here to SPY and QQ, like, like I said, like they're at valid spots right now to get this bounce. So like also like that's why it's conflicting, right? If like I'm just looking at VIX, then yeah, I'm gonna expect it not to break under that 50 MA, but I am expecting QQ and SPY to get that like counter trend move, which like I'm not even gonna say counter trend at this point because I ate my words on the last one. All right, like all right, yeah, I'm just saying that's the like both of them make sense to me looking at SPX over here and then looking at VIX. Like both of those scenarios make sense. But what I will say right now is, again, I mean, you just have so many factors suggesting you are going to be getting that buying pressure stepping in. All right. And on top of that, we have candlesticks here, and candlesticks rule, guys. All right. But yeah, you do have this increasing buy volume here on SPX, or not SPX. SPX actually didn't have them. The big guy didn't have them. SPY and QQ here, like extremely high buy volume here going in. And if you guys want to see what happened, holy sweet baby Jesus, this move actually saved your boy over here. But look at that freaking thing. Look at that thing. It went crazy. All right. Crazy. They literally trade you flat all day. I was definitely getting frustrated with this price action. Your boy was you almost took a loss on the day. All right. Fortunately we didn't, but we almost did. It was pissing me off. But they literally trade you flat the whole day. It was nuts. I did not think that was going to be happening. Guys, by the way, when VIX goes up, the 0 DTEs, I take 0 DTE strangles. I've been doing them sometimes. And I will say, sometimes they're extremely nerve-wracking. Sometimes I feel like a genius, all right? The other day, I took one right at the bottom. And like, I got so close to taking that L. Luckily it didn't happen, but like still it was pissing me off. When VIX, I was also thinking about this yesterday in the car. All right, VIX, when this thing is over 30, I believe it's when it was over, when VIX is over 30, 2% moves on SPY can happen easily, like at ease. Like that is just the expected move. All right, if VIX is over 40, I think it gets crazy. Is it 30 or is it 25? I don't know. Maybe it's 30. I don't know. Maybe it's 25. Maybe it's 30. Either way, there's like I'm gonna have to look that one up. All right. But I have heard it, and if that does happen, that is the point when the 0 DT strangles are going to be super profitable every single day because you can get $2 out the money for like 50, 60 cents on, like, that's what I've been seeing at least. On both sides, you get like $1.50 to $2 out the money for 50 or 60 cents. And then there you go, right? If you have a 2% move on SPY, all right, that's $6, all right? So, like, one of those sides is going in the money. That's what I'm getting at. And it's going to be going in the money heavily, all right? So, that's when, like, you literally can take those each day, and, like, there you go, all right? But as of right now, no, I'm going to say the vast majority of people are going to lose all their money on these 0 DTs, guys. They, like, from what I saw on Friday, guys, they're honestly just tough, all right? They're tough. And sometimes you don't want to take the loss, and you gotta, like, I've been using a 50% stop loss, and like sometimes you don't want to, but then you look back at the end of the day and you're like, shit, if I didn't take that, there you go. Now I've only been stopped out I think it's been like 3 times, but like I'm gonna be honest, guys, yeah, you don't want to do it. But then looking back, it's like, oh crap, if I didn't do that, I would have just lost it all. Now, I haven't been using a lot on these just because I'm going to be honest. That's also like the conflicting thing about these. You don't have the balls to go heavy enough on these things because they're so volatile. So, like, it doesn't matter anyway. I don't know. That's also like the little mental battle I've had recently. All right. Is it even worth trying to play these because you're playing them with such a little amount of money compared to like your actual swing positions? That is it freaking worth it? I don't know. All right. I don't know. That's still the mental argument that I'm still having with myself. All right. All right. So I don't know where we left off. I'm going to be honest. This would be considered a bullish Harami, except the wick over here came above this wick right here. And I think that is the rule for these Haramis. All right. But yeah, guys, I think VIX is going to end up doing that. All right, I think I talked about it. I don't want to keep talking your ear off about the same thing. All right, but stepping over to the 4-hour time frame. All right, because this honestly is showing us what we really need to know. All right, and we're gonna look at Apple too because Apple is the largest component of SPY and QQQ. All right, so if that's doing something, this thing's gonna do something as well. All right, but as you see on SPX, guys, we did break down from the rising wedge. I've been seeing this all over Twitter and YouTube. All right, and as well on Weeble. All right, I finally put it on my chart. All right, I was just looking at it as this. I didn't know it had this upper bound here. All right, but I was looking at this uptrend here. All right, but yeah, guess what, guys? It is a big fat rising wedge, and you did end up having a daily close underneath it. So like by default, that is you got your confirmation close underneath it. But I'm gonna say right now, with like everything else that we already reviewed and that we're going to review in this video, I think it's very probable that this is a false breakdown and we end up having a partial rise. Maybe we come up into maybe 4,100 around there, and then you have your partial rise in your hand, which all partial rise signals is like, hey, all right, this is how I see it. Bears are coming back, all right, or it could be either side, but in this case, it would be bears are coming back and they're pretty much gathering the troops, okay? They're gathering the troops, and then boom, they rush the door on this try, and they have enough strength to really just capitulate the people on the other side of the door, or make the people on the other side of the door capitulate, and there you go. Those people get ran over, and there you go. Bears would then trample over bulls. That is how I see that happening, all right? It doesn't have to happen, but like we have a lot of things suggesting that it will, that we're going to be going over this vid that we already have, guys. Like even the stuff we have already gone over, guys. You have 3 freaking bottoming tails right here. Guess what, guys? You had 3 topping tails over here. You had this right here, that, you had that. Well, guess what? They're back to back to back. Well, now you have the same thing over here, all right? Which all it's showing me, like over here is showing me sellers are present. All right, they're looking for their opportunity. They're present. Well, guess what, guys? Buyers are present. All right, they're looking for the opportunity. Just like you could see that in this candlestick right here, I'm sure got a lot of people. You could see buyers were stepping in there. But guess what? They gapped you down the next day and literally trapped you. All right, and then they went all day. All right, so I mean, people who bought you, your hope got smashed. All right, smashed. Well, guess what? That was the same over here. All right, but let's actually review before we move on to the 4-hour time frames. Let's actually review. Did we see these things popping up? Okay, so what can we match this up with? So we have the CCI. We'll actually put a line up here. All right, we'll make you, yeah, I guess we'll keep you green right there, all right? So this is where our CCI currently is. Previous times, all right, have you formed 3 attempts at a bottoming tail? Okay, because I mean, I guess they are bottoming tails, but I guess they're also attempts because they weren't actually the bottoms. I don't know. All right. But in previous times that we have fallen and hit that 170 mark on the CCI, were we forming these bottoming tails? That is what we got to look at. Okay, over here, we were. Guess what? We were pretty close. We were pretty close. Now, keep in mind, guys, if we get this, do not get mad at your boy. Okay, your boy over here started calling, like it was literally over here when I started calling for, hey, we're probably going to start getting the bounce. Then we got the bullish divergence here. Then it was like, oh, guys, now we're really probably going to get a bounce. All right, well, guess what? That took 1 to 2 weeks to get out of that consolidation, and your boy was flamed for going long during that. Now I've learned, guys, you cannot be fully transparent with the internet. The internet will literally roast you at any freaking opportunity, all right? Because that's just what's going to happen. It happens, all right? Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm early, and yeah, I mean, when I'm wrong, that's fine, but when I'm early, it sucks because I know I'm like, I mean, I guess on all the times I think I'm early too. And then there's that. So it's whatever. I guess it all comes with the territory. But guess what, guys? You're right. I could be early. I don't think I'm going to be early here. I think I'm actually going to call some pretty spot on movement here. All right. But in the past, all right, you did do so over here. And guess what? We were pretty close to the bottom. Now, I don't think it's going to behave like this. I think we're probably going to finally get a quick counter trend move, and then I think we're going to end up continuing lower. We just got the data suggesting that, hey, we no longer have a bull thesis. All right, the bull thesis is non-existent anymore, so like we shouldn't be sustaining this price action. All right, that's why you started breaking down. All right, but let's see over here. Okay, we hit the 170 mark over here, and no, I mean, you were right over here. You started trying to form you had one bottoming tail, but no, I can't say we have a similar picture to what we had going on over here. All right. Now, I will say this is the only very similar one. You have these bottoming tails there. You have the bull. Like, clearly, bulls were trying to step in here. They didn't. They got crapped on. All right, absolutely crapped on. I don't know if this is going to be the case. All right, but what I will say is, if we are going to be dancing around over here, it's going to be all right. It's going to be to form these divergences. All right, so if we do end up just like if we have these like so, look at it this way, all right. We can actually look over here, all right? You formed a bullish divergence, all right? You came down, you broke that, all right? You coming over here, well, then you started forming another one. So on this move down, guys, what I'm really like, what I'm caring about is, yeah, guys, when we find the bullish divergence here on the daily time frame on QQ and SPY, that's when I'm like saying, hey, we're probably going to have your decent sized move, all right? You're probably going to be getting that bounce. Until then, no, we're probably going to be getting these little counter trend moves, and there will be that. But coming over here to what was I just saying? I swear I had a point to what I was just saying. Guys, if you're also new here, just know that sometimes your boy gets brain farts. All right, I think everybody gets brain farts, but maybe your boy gets them a little more than everyone else. I don't know. Okay, no idea. But this is me. All right, this is me. This is my channel. So there you go. All right, what was I saying, dude? I'm like triggered. That happens too often. I do not like that. I do not like that. It is whatever. I guess we will keep moving on. Guys, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what I was saying. I have absolutely no idea. We will carry on, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Okay, that sucks. All right, guys. So we're going to move on from the daily time frame because your boy had a point to be made, but now your boy does not know what that point was. So we're going to leave it at this. You're again buying pressure stepping at the 200 MA. You clearly have the volume showing that. You also do have your oscillators over in oversold territory, which means, hey, we have room for the bounce. Okay, there's room. All right. Oh, that sucks. I don't know what I was just saying here. I know I had a point that I was making. I know for a fact I did. Whatever. Okay, whatever. All right. We're going to move on from the daily time frames. Just know DIA also has that bullish divergence, or not also, but it does. All right. So that is another factor suggesting upside. I'm going to look over to Apple, right? Because, guys, Apple is the biggest component of SPY and QQ. So if this thing is doing something, if it starts bouncing, the other guy's going to start getting a bounce. All right. And this is what I was saying, guys. Look at this. Look at these topping tails on, or not topping tails, bottoming tails on Apple. The buyers are trying to step in right here at this 200 MA. They're trying to hold it. You did slightly lose it. All right, so that is the thing. You do often get these reactions here at the 200. All right, over here. All right, so it is something that we were sure to get a reaction out of. And because we are coming down into it, I think we're probably going to get a reaction to the upside, just like we got going over here on QQ and SPY. All right, guys. Yes, we will be continuing lower, but we're probably going to see the buying pressure stepping back in. All right. Plus, you do have the this hangman / hammer candlestick formation here. All right. So that is the thing. And again, yeah, you do have another bottoming tail right there. Now, I will say sellers were here on Apple. All right. You have increasing sell volume. That is all that's showing us. All right. So it is like we're at this battle between the bulls and the bears up here. All right. We're just waiting on one side to capitulate. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't think it's going to be the bears capitulating. I think the bears are finally... They're banging on the chest. They're like, oh, crap. Everything I've been saying, like, oh, it's here? Stupid bulls. All right. That's probably what bears are thinking. So they're not going to be the ones capitulating. I'm just saying. All right. But you step over here to the 4-hour time frame. You do have this bullish divergence going on over here on Apple, which is the same thing we got going on QQ and SPY. So let's go over there. And you do also have one. Little one there on the RSI, but you come over here on QQ, and you know we'll start it with SPX, all right, because SPX is the big dog. All right, let's actually move that right there just so I have room to make drawings. All right, there you go. You have a bullish divergence going on over there, and you come over here to SPY and QQ. Now here is where you have triple. Okay, that was a terrible drawing. Why? Let me freaking. Why must you do this? There we go. All right, that works. All right, you got your triple bullish divergence going on the RSI. You have a bullish divergence on the CCI here on QQQ. All right, and then you have the same exact thing going over here on this one. All right, you also have a bullish divergence, simple bullish divergence on the CCI, and then you have the triple bullish divergence on the RSI, guys. All right, now coming over here at QQ, I want to point out that you literally just kept flip-flopping between these zones, guys. Congrats. All right. If you had these zones on your chart, you knew exactly where to sell. All right. If you were like me and you had calls going into right here. I remember sitting on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, oh, should I risk it for the biscuit, risk for the, because I thought you were coming up here, but no. Guys, this is a prime example of why you should always assume, just assume at these levels, these previous levels, these zones, all right? Just assume the move is going to come to an end, okay? So guess what, all right? You're here on the hourly time frame. You're over here, all right? This was, I don't know if it was, I think it was this one I was playing, all right? But I ended up doing them from over here, all right? And guess what? You start coming into here. Guess what? You should by default just assume that sellers are going to be lurking here. Here you had, it was previous demand, okay? You had buying pressure stepping over here. Well, guess what? You flipped it, or you came back in for the test. You should assume that you're going to flip things, guys, all right? Because you literally ended up getting this. You could have literally sold the shorts. That you could have entered shorts over here, sold them here, all right? Come back over the hourly time frame, all right? So you literally could have entered shorts right here at the break of here, started exiting the shorts over here and going long, all right? And then you literally could have done these exact same thing over here, all right? I'm not saying you like wanted to play both sides here, right? And like sell calls and go short here, but oh, guess what? You could have done the exact same thing over here when you started seeing the buying pressure step in, all right? Oh, and guess what? You had one more opportunity to do so. That's what I'm getting at, guys, all right? It like literally worked perfectly. So congrats to anybody who did have these zones on your chart, all right? You nailed it. All right, now you are under here, but I do not think you were going to stay under here. Now we're going to be talking about, for just a little bit here, let's talk about trend, okay? We got trend, and we're actually going to use SPY for this, because SPY is what everything's going to be watching. You guys are wondering, what is this zone we got here, all right, guys? This is where I think you come back up to. I think you come up and, like, you probably have selling pressure. Start stepping in right in the zone, all right? And why is that? It's because of what we were just talking about. You should just assume that the sellers will be there, just like assume the buyers are going to be there, all right, at the respective levels, all right? You had this zone that we were talking about for quite some time up here, all right? Over here, I was telling you guys that I was going to be watching, like, are you going to break it? Or are you going to end up, I thought you would have this back test here, and then you would end up breaking it. No, you ended up just breaking it, all right? But you broke it. All right, and now what am I looking for? I'm looking for, like, I don't know if it's going to be right here, all right, which would be like the bottom of this range here, all right, or it's going to be the top, which I think it'll be the top, because this is where we have our 408.14 gap fill here on SPY. All right, but now that we have broken down here and we have another lower low here, I'm looking for another lower high. All right, guys, so let's look at it this way. Okay, come over to the hourly time. No, 4 hours good. 4 hours is very good. All right, it's very good. All right, you look at it like this. All right, you have your low, you have your high. You have your higher low, you have your lower high. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What do we have there? All right, we have a lower low. Now, this is when I was saying, like, hey, guys, all right, now we're looking for that lower high. Trend change has started. We have not had a lower low this whole time. If you guys don't believe me, let's just look at it, right? Low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, and then there you go. This is your first one right here, or not that. This is your first one right here. All right, you finally tested that trend is what I'm getting at. All right, so you came back up. You have the same exact high. Maybe you beat it by, like, maybe it was like 10 cents or something, 10, 20 cents, whatever it was, right? We're going to call it the same high. So now you're kind of trendless. You're just in this range here. That's what I was saying when we were just in here. I was saying, like, hey, right now you're trendless. You don't know, you're at that middle ground where, like, buyers and sellers, they're battling. Okay, you don't know which side is going to come out prevailing. All right, so you come back up, you have your same high, all right, but now you come down here. Now you had your same low over here, all right, and that's when I was saying, like, okay, now I'm looking to see, like, are we gonna get the lower high here? All right, we're going to get the same high. This trend line, I was saying, it was going to be telling. It was going to be very telling, because if you start getting impulsive selling stepping in here, then there you go. Before you even come down and make a new low, you know that, hey, the trend is probably, it's down, all right? You have sellers stepping back in for a lower high, all right? Well, guess what? We never got that, like, we never got that tell up here, all right? So we ended up just busting through. All right, and guess what, guys? Now we know that, no, guys, we're now in a downtrend. Guaranteed, that is what we're looking for. Or not what we're looking for, that's what we're looking at. So now that we're in this downtrend, we now have your lower low. Okay, so here was your previous high. Here was your lower low. Well, here was your previous low. So we're going to have to see, are you going to literally have sellers step in at the previous low? Or are you just going to flip that this level right here? All right, which is right around 404, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, I do believe you end up running into the 404 to 408 like zone here that I got right here, this range. I don't know where the selling is going to step in, but it would make perfect sense for me, for price to come up to this 408.14 level, and that is where you make your next high. All right, and that would be you have 80% probability. You have an 80% chance of seeing a trend reversal off of gap fills. All right, that would align with that. All right, I'm just saying, if you run into the gap fill, that's kind of the perfect spot. All right, if you end up making it past the gap fill, and this is why I just don't know if you're going to, all right, because I would have to assume you're probably going to come back up and test that trend, the trend line that you broke down from. But that's like so high. So if you do that, I don't really know. All right, I have no idea. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think that will happen. All right. I do not. All right. But either way, guys, I'm looking for a lower high. All right. Because if you, and this is also what I'm saying, if you come back up and test this, you're testing your previous high. And now that the sellers have pretty much told the market, hey, we're in control here. All right. Everyone step aside. Bulls step aside. We're in control. All right. Well, now this is just a chance for the bulls to get out of their positions. These are the people who like see this going on. They're like, holy crap, I see I'm wrong now. Let me wait for my opportunity to get out. So that's why I say, like, you're probably going to see selling pressure step in here in this zone, because this is where people acknowledge that they're wrong. All right. And it would be a valid back test if you did end up coming back up to it. And you have this gap fill right there. And what we also could do is we can, let's actually just get rid of all of these lines here real quick. All right, so you go like that, all right? And then this is also something I'm watching, all right? I guess we could call it this. All right. All right, all right. Let's actually change you to the right. Oh, did not mean to do that. Oh, I know I changed it. Oh, whatever. Whatever. Da, da. Over here to the right, all right? Look at that 0.618. All right, guys, it is right above this thing, less than $1 above it. It's like 80 cents above the gap fill. All right. Well, guys, price typically comes back into this golden pocket. All right. So we could just put that on right there. All right. Put that yellow line right there. All right. And since the price typically comes into the golden pocket, I suspect we're probably going to see price, this thing act as a magnet. We're probably going to see it come up into there. All right. And because this is just so close to it, like I'm just saying, guys, it is highly probable that you end up coming up to this gap fill, 408.14. That is like so far away from what we're at right now. That is $12 away, guys. That is $12 of upside. There's also like, I'm just saying, guys, if you're like looking to short this thing, you want this to happen. I want this to happen so freaking bad because I didn't get to take a full short position on what happened. All right, I just didn't. All right. But I will also let you guys know. Just know that I'm like, I literally only have a few puts right now. I am pretty much all in cash. I am waiting. All right. I was playing calls on Friday, but I have hopped out of those. All right. I don't know what I will be doing to start the week off. I could end up playing the moves I'm talking about right now. All right, I could not do so, and I could literally just wait on, and by the way, I'm going to go with the April 21st expiration on these next puts. But yeah, I could honestly just wait and sit on my hands for those next puts, right? And that's, there's a likelihood that that is going to be what I do anyway. All right, coming over the hourly time frame, all right, guys. I don't think it's too important, which is why I did not bring it up in the written update. Everything's just kind of oversold, all right? So you're probably going to get that rip. I mean, either way, I'm looking for a rip. That's what I'm looking for. I am saying that makes complete sense to me right now. All right, but now let's look at some other things, okay? You look at Apple, or not Apple, you look at DXY, all right, guys? It has reached what we put on here as a target zone. We said that this could be our target zone right here where you had your selling pressure coming on the dollar here. All right, we probably will see sellers step in here. All right, and you probably see it come back down into this trend line. All right, if you guys do want to know like where this trend line originates from, it's literally the trend line of the dollar. All right, this whole, what did this happen? 2021? Yeah. It's been doing this for over a year. All right, so this is definitely a respected trend line. All right, which is why if you come back down, you're probably going to end up seeing buying pressure step back in. You're probably going to see it do something like this. All right, look at that. All right, we're probably also, actually, I'm gonna say right now, all right, there's a chance you end up just busting through here, getting rejection at the 200, coming back and flipping it. All right, that is also something that's on the table. All right, let's take that off. Just know, guys, when divergences break, all right, you typically will get an impulsive move. That is just what I read in a book, and that's also what I see. All right. But yeah, guys, if dollar is cooling off, you're gonna see markets rally. That's just what is going to happen. Now, what I want to point your attention to is this. What the heck is this, guys? All right, what the heck is this? All right, we're gonna actually pull up. I was looking at the August one. I think it referenced in the written update. Come over here. We'll go to the August one. Right there, dude. Right there. Look at that, guys. 5.4% is what they're pricing in as of Friday. All right, guys, and that was with the hot PC report. All right, I think this is probably going to end up cooling down, but just know that, like, hey, this is what I've been saying. All right, this is literally what I've been saying is going to be taking place. All right, you're going to, like, the market, it didn't make sense with what was happening over here. And I was telling you guys, like, hey, all right, it is only a matter of time now that we have the market, like, literally skyrocketing. All right. It's only a matter of time until inflation started ticking back up. And whenever the market does realize that, hey, all right, we got to price this in, that's when you're going to see a very quick decline. All right. This is what that looks like. This is the market realizing, holy crap, no, we've been wrong. All right. This is inflation is ticking back up. And guess what? All we're waiting on now is that very quick decline. All right. So I think it's not going to take long for you to come back down into this consolidation over here. But you come back over here, all right, and just know that October 13th was our low. Over here, these were at 4.6%, all right, 4.6% when we were at October lows, when everyone was in peak freakout mode. Well, guess what? The bond market that controls this market is now pricing in way more than that, all right, way more than that. We're nowhere close to lows. We're probably going to be head to lows is what I'm getting at. All right. And it's kind of what I'm getting at here. All right. So let's talk about it. All right. The 100Xer. All right. The 100Xer. Now, what I think is going to be happening in the, so short term, guys, short term, we go up. Midterm, we go down. All right. And we end up going into this zone. All right. And midterm, I'll say 2 months, 2 to 3 months. All right, short term. But short term, nah. I'll say, like, this week, I'd say like this is probably the only week you're going to be going up, and then you're going to resume the decline. All right, with what I showed you guys here on the weekly charts. All right, do you see that? All right, you see that over there? Probably have weeks of selling ahead. All right. So I guess, like, short term, I guess we could really say, like, you guys, you're probably going to go up for a few days and then you're going to have weeks of selling. So I guess that would be the short term. I don't know. All right. But long term, guys, if you guys are not new to the channel, then you know that I've had this on my chart for quite some time. All right. When we were down here, I started putting these levels on my chart. All right. And I do think we're going to come down. We're going to find our support here, either on this gap fill here at 338.25, or we're going to come down and we're going to hit the support over at 319.80. All right. Somewhere in the zone, I think you're going to see buyers start aggressively stepping in. All right. You come over here to the monthly time frame. All right. And the monthly time frame says we should be looking for a rip. You don't get many of these. All right. You really don't. Now, I will say we weren't in this circumstance. Okay. This is like kind of like, okay. This is crash territory. Like, we are waiting on a crash. It's going to happen at some point. I understand you've fallen like quite a bit here. Like, I think 30%, 27%. I think on QQ was over 30%. Let's see, 36% there. So, I mean, people could say this is the crash, but no, guys, I don't think this is the crash. VIX has not gone over 40. All right. We're still waiting. We're waiting on something like that. We're waiting on something like that, something like that. All right. We're waiting on it. I don't know when it's going to come, but when it does, all right, it's going to be violent. This is on SPY. You fell 55%. All right. I think it's probably what we got going right now is similar to the dot-com bubble, where it's going to take quite some time to really get this money out the system. All right. So I don't think it's just going to be one event like that, but I think we're probably going to have several events like this where you just see this waterfall style selling over there, or watershed selling, whatever the word is. All right. Yeah, guys. All right. We're looking for a rip. All right. We are looking for a rip. But what have I told you guys about these different time frames? They'll have to come together. All right. So like now I'm going to be waiting till we probably get a bullish divergence here on the weekly CCI here. And that's when I'm looking to play the monthly CCI, what we got over here. All right. And while the weekly one is cycling back, all right, you're going to see continuously, you're going to see this thing. All right. You probably, I can't say with certainty, but you're probably going to see this thing continuously come down, and you're probably going to or cycle up like that, and you're probably going to see this happen with lower highs that come in and lower lows. All right, and that would just be like that. All right, now obviously it's not just going to follow that straight up. All right, no, you're going to stay in one side or the other, either side, and form these divergences. That is typically what we're going to see. But what I'm getting at is they all need to work together. All right. And right now, your weekly CCI is all the way up here and your monthly is down there. So, of course, guys, I'm looking for selling. All right. But the 100Xer, guys, the 100Xer, all right? So we saw Mara. All right. We saw Mara. And, of course, it's Mara. All right. If you guys are not new to the channel, you know Mara's my baby. All right. I even got my Mara account that is the only account that has just continuously grown. All right. Since I started it, which was all the way to somewhere over here. I think it was... yeah, it was right over here. I made my first buy on my baby Mara over here. All right. Right now I have no Mara. But I am looking forward to this. All right. Now, guess what, guys? All right. The next time Bitcoin bottoms, all right, it's going to be the bottom. All right. That is what I'm looking for. And guess what, guys? You do have weekly bearish divergence going on Bitcoin as it comes up to the weekly 200 MA. That is a big yikes. All right. That is a yikes. All right. A lot of people probably didn't see this. I'm glad we're seeing this right now. All right. That is a tell to what we're about to get. All right. But yeah, you're going to see this thing cycle back down. You're probably going to see it take out this low. And it's probably going just like when SPY comes into that 320 to 340 range. This thing's probably going to come into this range. All right. And that is the time when I am going to be, that is the time when I'm going to be loading up on 4 to 6 month calls on Mara. All right. I'm going to go 50-50 with my Mara account on this. But I am also, guys, if I have like whatever my trading account is at, guys, I'm going to go very significantly into these as well. All right. Now, anybody had an opportunity to get a 10 to 20x on, we'll say 3 month options on Mara. All right. That's off the top of my head. It could be more. It could be less. All right. But my point here is that we saw this thing rip massively, but it wasn't the rip. It wasn't the thing where shorts literally cover. Okay. Where the freaking 35% short interest in Mara cover. All right. That is not what we had. All right. We had some shorts covering. All right. But like it wasn't the big short covering. Okay. And also it wasn't something like this. This is what we have on the horizon. All right. But before we see that, we're going to see it come back down. All right. So this is something that I don't know when this exactly will happen. If you guys are following along with the channel, then you guys will know whenever it comes along, because I'm going to be screaming it from the rooftops, guys. This is my baby here. All right. This is the only investment that I plan on having for years and years to come. Like I'm not going to just sit here holding Mara. All right. But this is the one that I sit here. And this is, I play shares with, all right? But guess what, guys? I'm going to be playing options this time. I'm going to go 50-50, all right? My trading account, probably not going to do shares. I'm probably just going to have, calls, all right? But the reason I say 100Xer is because I have no idea how high this thing's going to rip when the time comes, all right? But I'm going to look at it this way, all right? Let's just say you get $10 call options. You get them for 30 cents. All right. And then Mara runs to $20. All right. In that time. There you go. All right. There is your like 90 something X right there. All right. I think this is what we have on the horizon, guys. All right. You guys have seen this thing rip faces. Okay. Down here, you could have gotten calls very cheap. Very cheap. All right. Well, guess what? It's going to literally come back down into this price range down here. All right. It's going to come maybe 250. Hopefully we get a 250 buy. I don't know if we get a 250 buy, but I'm just going to say 350 I think definitely gets hit again. Now this was a gap fill. We can actually take 350 off of the chart, okay? We're just going to literally put this back on the chart, okay? So the low over here was 311. All right, so we're going to put that right here. We're going to make you blue because that is all you are. All right, 311. Well, actually, we're going to make this yellow. Okay, I'm not going to say it's a target, but this is like it kind of is a target, all right? This is my target buy. My target buy level on Mara, guys. This is when I make the heaviest buy on Mara. This is it. All right, but guys, I don't know, and the reason I'm not going to be talking about options specifically here, I'm just saying, hey, 4 to 6 month call options. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting like I'm going to go very freaking substantially into this thing. All right, obviously with the Mara account, I'm just going to go all in with it. All right, when I get this opportunity, but with my actual trading count, this is what I'm super excited to do, because whatever my trading count is, like hey, there we go. Now on top of this, I'm also just going to be saving money. All right, I'm just going to save my money outside of here. Maybe by the time the time actually comes, maybe I have another $5,000 to throw into the Mara account, and there you go. That $5,000 turns into freaking 50K in over, like, 2 or 3 months after that. All right. But this is why, guys, you should always have a smile on your face, all right? If you're obsessed with the market, just know this will always be there, okay? If you are in the market, opportunities such as these, such as the one I just spoke about, they will always be here. If you have been on this channel, you already witnessed one, all right? You already got to play one, all right? And if you've really been on this channel, then you already witnessed another one in the same exact stock, okay? If you're around long enough, you're just going to see these cycles come and go. Guess what, guys? We're going to be around long enough every single time. All right? Every single time. Whatever. Voice cracked there. Yeah, guys, all right? I'm extremely excited for this. Extremely excited. And the math doesn't have to work out like I just said. The whole, you buy a $10 call for 30 cents and then Mara goes 20 and there you go. You have intrinsic value of $10, like $1,000 per contract. All right? There you go, all right? It doesn't have to be the $10 strike. It doesn't have to be what I just said with 30 cents, right? But what I'm saying is the time is coming, okay? If I saw this produce 10 to... I think I even saw 30 to 40 X's on some of these. You could have bought 1 to 2 month calls, all right? But that's what I'm saying, all right? The fact that we saw those gains possible with this rip right here, which was a 200% rip, all right, just tells me that, hey, when we have this thing coming along, all right, it's probably going to be bigger than what we got over here. You're probably going to see the biggest rip Mara's had since here, all right, or since here. You're probably going to see that because Bitcoin is probably, with all likelihood, it's going to do some very crazy shit, and it is going to come down here, and it's going to do something like this, where it goes parabolic, all right? And if it does go parabolic, Mara is guaranteed going parabolic alongside it. Okay, you could play Riot. Riot is the fundamentally strong company. Mara is not. Mara is just, freaking like 35 to 40% shorted compared to the Riot's like 18% short. I think it's 18 last time I looked. So like, just know, like that's the one I'm going to be mainly playing here is Mara because of that. All right, but guys, that is the 100xer. All right, and it doesn't have to go exactly like that. All right, but it's going to go very similar to that. All right, and just look at this, guys. We don't have anything to worry about. Just know that like Mara isn't even close to the bottom until this daily RSI comes down into oversold territory. All right, and then you can also look at over here. We're going to see the weekly RSI also take a dive, but just be watching this weekly CCI. All right, we saw the bullish divergence pop up over there. All right, we saw the bullish divergence pop over there when you made your lower low there. All right, so the last two rips, the mega rips that Mara has had, both were called out by the weekly CCI bullish divergence. That is what I'm going to be watching. All right, and yeah, I think that is pretty much it. With that being said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next update. And yeah, I'll catch you on Monday. Peace.